I've had the chance to interview Rob Zombie many times over the past 10 years, but still to this day, my most memorable interview with him is the first time I met him. I remember we were in a high-powered LA management office in 2005, and I gotta say, this interview remains one of the most quotable in all of Banger's history.
Metal fans love it forever. No one goes, yeah, I was really big into Slayer one summer. You know, there's no, like, I've never met that guy. I've only met the guy who's got Slayer carved across his chest.
The other thing that Rob reminds us is that there's a lot more to metal and rock than just the music. It's gotta be a show. Otherwise, it's just grunge.
You talked actually, I read something, you said it was quite interesting about White Zombie and Rob Zombie as being one big magnet for all kinds of weird American culture. And I thought that was cool. And maybe you could kind of explain what you meant by that.
I mean, I guess I never saw just music as music, you know? I saw it all as one big thing. Like, I loved movies and comics and music and anything, you know, hot rods and monsters and girls in bikinis and this and that and everything. And I just like jammed it all together into the band, you know? Because some people like, they, you know, I don't know, they think they're about this. I don't know, I just took everything and mastered it.
Kind of an eclectic approach, like grab bag.
Yeah, I mean, it all seemed like one giant thing to me. That's when it came time to put the band together. I was as obsessed with the t-shirts and the stage show as I was with the music. I mean, it was all important. It was all one big thing. Because I know, and this is nothing against anyone else, but I know sometimes people weren't. Like, I remember, like, bands would be about the music, they'd be like, oh, the image and this, that doesn't matter. Like, what do you mean it doesn't matter? Watch, you know. And I always say, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Trust me, if Jimi Hendrix was a big, fat, bald guy, we wouldn't still be talking about him. But he was like this really cool-looking guy, and I was like, oh my God. Or if, like, you know, if same thing, Jim Morrison or whoever, if they were just like, you know, Jim Morrison looked like Orson Welles, we wouldn't be listening to the Doors, you know, it all matters.
And the whole visual element at that time was totally uncool too, right? Like, you guys kind of were swimming upstream in a way.
Yeah, because we were sort of trapped in that grunge thing when that hit. Because when that hit, it was that's all there was. It's like you couldn't even see anything anymore. But I didn't care because it was grunge, and everyone was like, "Oh, I'm depressed, and I'm just gonna wear flannel," even though 2 weeks ago I was like in a hair band. You know, everybody was, and we're just like, no, we're just gonna play what we do. We're gonna look the way we do. We're not changing. We're gonna have, you know, fire, pyro, explosions, like just. You know, because I always like to function like this. I don't care what's going on around me. I have like my idea of what I want to do. And if anything, White Zombie kept that alive during a very like stare at your shoe time period. I mean, not that there weren't other bands doing it, like, but you know, that was sort of like one thing that we did for sure.
Yeah, because it's seen as a fairly stale time for metal, and I guess you added industrial elements, you added kind of a strong visual element.
Yeah, and I remember at the time everybody would be asking us, like, why do you do that? Nobody cares about stage shows or pyro or that crap anymore. Why do you keep doing it, you know? We see why Kiss still does it, but why do you bother? It's over. And we're like, because it's still fucking cool. I mean, like, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, but if every night, because, you know, White Zombie was pretty big at that time period. If every night, you know, 15,000 kids can scream when a fireball goes off, I don't know, no one will. I took that as a positive result. And you know, when you see anybody, like, I don't know, I mean, it's just, the visual impact is overwhelming. Like, when you go see Slayer, you know, if it's like, it's when they're all the same doing that thing, that, you know. But I mean, if one guy was like, I'm in my Bermuda shorts, oh, I decided to wear a funny little suit, and you'd be like, what is this bullshit? But it's just the fact that they're like this you know, they look like 4 parts of a machine, and it's just like, that's what's so great.
Do you think that's something that makes metal different than other styles of music? It's kind of that commitment to the full, like the full package.
Yeah, it kind of keeps going back to the same thing. There's no, it's all about, it's all or nothing, sort of. You know, and then that's what's good about the music and the fans. It really is all or nothing. Like, I mean, like other music, it's so pedestrian. Like, you can wander in, kind of listen to it, wander out, whatever. But metal, like, there's no, you know, you're either in it or you're out, you know. Because I remember, you know, because sometimes a couple times I've played, like, well, it was like, 99, we were doing Ozfest. And I had some friends that weren't into metal. They didn't know anything about it. And they came to the show, and they just stood there like this. Like, we might as well have taken them to Pluto. Like, they had no idea that went on, and they were just like, And that was a huge show. It was like 50,000 people or something. The kids were insane that day, and everything was, I mean, I don't even think they ever heard anything that loud before, let alone that. And, you know, they didn't even know what to make of it, you know? Like, we didn't even know this existed on the planet Earth. Which is another thing that I love about it, is like, it's so fucking huge, yet it's like certain people don't even know it exists. So it's like, you know, that's what I was, even with the White Zombie, was like, we're the only, I felt like you can sell like, have a triple platinum record and you're somehow still like a cult band that nobody fucking knows who you are. It's like bizarre. It's so cool.
And something you mentioned earlier, you said it's a lifestyle, like people live it. I mean, was it something that you lived?
Oh yeah. I mean, it never changes. I mean, it's just like, I don't even know what that, you know, once you live it, I don't even know what that means anymore. You're in it and that's what it is. But it is a lifestyle. And like, it's funny when you meet like, as time would go on, like people would come and they're like, with their, you know, they're a couple now, like, sign our baby, you know, the baby with the like the Aussie shirt on or something. You're like, oh, that kid's, you know, yeah, he's all right. He's in.
Curse for life.
They sucked him in and he's not getting out.
I want to talk again about the link between the visuals and the music for you. Something you're known for.
Yeah.
And I guess I'd like to hear about why that visual component has been so important to you over the years.
I mean, I've always looked at it like in a real, I mean, first, everything was for my own enjoyment. Like, this is what I thought was cool, so this is what I wanted to do. And you know, first being exposed to everything in the 70s, like I said, whether it was Alice Cooper or Queen, I mean, everything was visual. Even things that weren't visual were visual. I mean, everything was just insane. So that's what I thought. My brain goes, that's the way it should be. And also, too, once, you know, the band started and got rolling, get popular, you feel like, you know, there's an obligation to make it something, like an experience. I mean, I don't know, just to see bands do nothing is boring.
You want to give people a show.
Yeah, I mean, and once again, it goes back to that grunge bullshit where it became like a bad word, but look, everyone's an entertainer. You may not like that, so stay in your garage or your basement and play, but as soon as someone just plunked down $50 to come watch the show, there better fucking be a show, you know? And I think that's why the grunge thing got on my nerves. It seemed really pretentious. Like, oh, no, it's all about the music, you know. And I've never been to so many boring shows in my life when I go see bands like this. Like, ay.
And it's interesting because we talked to so many bands for this documentary, so many metal bands, and some of them say, you know, it is just about the music, and it is that there is a lot of that kind of shoegazing kind of. It's all about the technique and the riffs, and then there's that element of metal which is all about the spectacle and the show, right?
Yeah, I mean, even with metal, I mean, it's about the music first. I mean, if the music's not there, then you have nothing. But after that, you got to put it, if you're going to like say, okay, I'm going to put it together and I'm going to make you pay to come see it, you better give them something. I mean, it's not like